Hey guys, Kelly Foss, Lake Muskoka Realtor, Chestnut Park out of Port Carling now. It is early March. We are in Muskoka. I am just sitting outside to show you it's a bluebird day, but it is frigid, as you can see by my outfit. So we have had a really cold spell the last week, which is interesting. A lot of our snow has melted. I'd say we still have a foot and change-ish maybe on the ground, maybe a foot and a half, but it's all ice on top, making it very tricky to get around in the real estate world. But I just wanted to bring you up to speed. You guys, I'm sure, have been hearing a lot about just the market in general, the real estate market all over Ontario, we'll say, and how things are sort of transpiring. The numbers out of Muskoka are the same as other secondary markets, that things are off the charts, etc. However, I wanted to sort of give you a live in the field. You guys can go find the numbers of the average price and how many sales and yada yada. But I just want to sort of give you an update as to what's happening here. And sorry, I apologize for my glasses, but I literally cannot see to talk if I don't have these on. The interesting thing, the market really started trucking January 4th, which was unheard of. I mean, usually this is sleepy time, and things are just starting to come back on after March break, after ski season ends, etc. That was not the case this year. There is literally no shortage of buyer demand, and that's been driven by sort of a trifecta of things. Obviously, COVID and the lack of travel and people being stuck in cities, etc., are looking to get to greener spaces. But at the same point in time, a lot of people have learned how to work from home, and whether they go back to an office or whether they go back a few days a week or what have you, a lot more people learning to work and willing to work in the woods. And the third, sorry, the wind is crazy. And the third, the third thing is that people are looking at more, the mortgage rates and just going, this is crazy. I can leverage something else and get in this. And a lot of people who buyers who come our way are looking at having a cottage property and with the ability to rent in case they need to do that in the future or they want to make some money or what have you. So there really is no shortage. And I mean, I am talking to people of all ages, demographics, etc. It's awesome. We're having the most fabulous time. But just wanted to sort of shed light on what's going on, because I'm sure in the PR side of the equation, it's like everything's selling for over ask. And as a result, sellers, get greedy. And there's a lot of pricing. Oh, this person sold their place for blah, and mine's better and whatever. And it's it's the most surface level valuation tactic ever. There's a lot more things that go into pricing a property than that. But the interesting thing in the last few weeks that I've had in my own experience is that, you tend to see when people start to get, as I say, greedy or take advantage of the situation, and just try and drive the numbers up. They always do holdbacks. And then, a lot of people are doing holdbacks without preemptive offers, meaning that nobody can make an offer until said time. And then, they're trying to jam as many showings and then get, 20 offers. And in some of these situations, it's happening. Like I had a property in February where we had 50 showings. We allowed bully offers, and offer time was 5 o'clock on Monday. And at 11 o'clock on Monday morning, we got a bully offer and deal was done. Nobody else got to offer. So these things happen. But the interesting thing from everybody's perspective is that that's not the only thing that's happening. So while in sort of January and February, inventory was quite tight. There wasn't a lot available. This was a more common scenario, but we're starting to see a lot more inventory flood onto the market. And a lot of that too has to do with change in weather. You can start to see the land underneath it. People feel better about selling it when somebody can actually see what they're buying. The fact that 3 season cottages, the roads will start to open up and you can get there. If you're on mainland, islands, we'll talk about that in a second. But literally, the scenario is changing. So there are things going for under ask. There are things going into offer time, and there is only one offer. There are things going in offer time, and there's 2 or 3, and they start playing with them. There are things that are going. You have 20 offers, and it's going a few $100,000 over ask. There was one on Lake Joe the other day, and this is the other thing about multiple offers and pricing, and it's so strange, but it went for $852,000 over ask, but it was priced too low to begin with. So you kind of net it out. So the crazy thing is that the market is, I think the takeaways here are the market is active. You never know if you're on the buy side or somebody that's on the buy side. They got to be working with somebody local. We're also doing a ton of getting a ton of referrals from the city agents saying we need boots on the ground up there. We just can't possibly deal with this sort of scenario. And we're happy to do that. And happy to chat so that we have all the bases covered. I mean, at the end of the day, we just want to help people get in. The same point in time, selling. So, I sort of said in our last sort of update, which I think was kind of this time in February. So like a month ago, I said, like, if you have a quirkier property, or you want to know what your property's worth, or you think that, you might be making a change, or I don't know, it's like it's one of the property in your family, and maybe it's like grandma's cottage that you've been renting out because that was the only way to, like, pay the mortgage and the taxes and whatever, and like carry the cost, so to speak. That sort of scenario, you might be really surprised. So we're doing a ton. I'm a numbers nut and a nerd, which I think you all know about me. But I do a ton of lake comps every single day, and it doesn't necessarily have to be lake. Like, it can be river, it can be what have you. But the water is such an interesting sort of scenario to me. So I track it just for my own purposes. It's kind of like I track the floods, as you all know if you know me. I track like lakes, and what lakes, what per foot front on a lake was in 2017 versus 2018 versus now versus what have you. So we do this naturally. So if that if you want to know the simplest detail, etc., or just give me a ballpark of what my place is worth without going to a lot of work, like, don't hesitate to reach out. And if you do know anybody who is interested in or contemplating selling their place, I'm happy to have a conversation with them. Odds are I probably have 10 buyers for it already, but at the same point in time, like, we obviously we're just here to help. So as I said, last month we added Andy Wise to our team, Robin Wynn and I, so we're 3, and literally got some good ground to cover. I think the other thing from a cottage perspective is that we are going into ice out time. It's going to be early this year. We are going to be back in the boat. So speaking of islands, I actually listed an island property on Lake Rosso. Hasn't come to market yet, but it's on its way this week, which is a phenomenal piece of land down near Windermere. But we're going to be islanding in no time, and you bet I'm counting the minutes to get back in the boat. So on that note, expect to see a lot of island stuff creep up as soon as it does. But that's kind of the update, the lay of the land from here. We are happy to help however we can. Real estate floods, still doing the building on the other side, and just touch base however we can help.